Hi, this is Kara. Welcome to Breaking Free Fridays, or welcome back if you've been following the series. It's great to have you here. Today I was inspired to talk about how to release fear. We are living in a time where there is a lot of fear going around. It's heightened in many ways, more so than usual. And in general, we've talked about this in other videos, just the way that our primal brain is wired. And our default setting is to really keep us safe. It's meant to keep us safe. And so from that standpoint, sometimes we really have this opportunity actually to rewire that that default of living in fear and training ourselves to become more and more comfortable with living our full potential and moving through areas of life that seem scary or uncomfortable, not because it's like a warning, oh, don't go there, but it's our primal brain that's telling us, oh, stay small because that's the status quo, because that's what we know is familiar, that's what we know is safe. So I want to remind you of a few things that will help you release the fear. And one of them has to do with really befriending this part of ourselves, because on the surface, it seems like this irritating enemy and that it's interfering with us realizing the life that we want. And there is that perspective, but the bigger picture is that fear is just this misguided guide, if you will. And it does have an important place in life. And there are times where it definitely, we want to be really grateful that it kicks in. It's just many times in the world that we live in now, it's on overdrive. And not only because of our default setting, but because of the experiences that we've had in our own lives that have created traumatic experiences and things like that, where that primal part of our brain is really wired to keep us safe. And so the more that we recognize that this piece of us, this part of us, is a valuable friend, and it's meant to help us. It's meant to keep us safe. And to just take pause when we recognize that the fear is there, instead of feeding the fear, or even instead of resisting the fear, recognizing it and just taking a moment and saying, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, and everything is okay, and I've got this. Thank you for trying to protect us. And that just disarms that part of us, because it feels accepted, it feels recognized, and it can calm, it can relax. Another big piece, and we've talked about this before, but it has to do with nervous system regulation. And so the more that we train our nervous systems to be setting in a state of calm and that rest and relaxation, that is so empowering to our system, because that's where we gain space to really live and to really thrive and to operate in a higher level of being, instead of being in that survival mode. And so the more that you maintain a regular practice to really regulate your nervous system, not only to address what's built up in your system over time, but also just like the day-to-day maintenance of living in this world. Think of it as something that you want to do on a regular basis, like eating nourishing foods, or working out and, keeping our bodies in motion and flexible and strong and all of that. It would be akin to that kind of really positive habit and practice that you can have in your life. And, whether that you're doing that somatically and feeling, meditation part is so valuable too. There's lots of different tools and ways, but it's just an incredibly important piece to help release the fear. And one of the things I wanted to share, because I love this quote from Marianne Williamson, it's beautiful. And it talks about how the spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love. And this is so incredibly powerful because it's true. We cannot really be in the experience of love and be in the experience of fear at the same time. So being in the experience of love means that fear it can't be in that presence. And so the more that we can embrace and live and experience love, the more that fear dissipates. It doesn't have a place, because that experience of love is a place of appreciation and gratitude and wonder and that bigger connection with the divine and all that is. And it's just magnificent. And, keeping that center in your, and that connectedness to your heart and really breathing in appreciation for everything, for life, for even the smallest of wonders. It just builds a greater resilience and experience of love and dissipates the fear. So keep that in mind as well. And remember, the fear it's almost like an echo of old wounds as well. Going back to some of what we talked about with traumatic things that happen and how the fear can actually work to help keep us safe from past experiences. But it operates in such a way that it can misinterpret things now as though they were part of the past. So, imagine the fear might rile up about something that maybe, in this moment you're feeling, oh, I'm afraid of failing, but that actually may be connected to an experience you had when you were a young child, and maybe when you were 8 or something, you were horrifically humiliated and felt absolutely ashamed and wanted to just disappear, under the carpet or into the wall, and so your nervous system has that imprint in there unless you've done the work to release it. And there definitely are ways of doing that. So, keep that in mind too. It's like this representative of old wounds. So it can be an invitation for healing that can be incredibly profound. So definitely keep that in mind as well. And then remember, when you think about fear and you think about the opposite, like courage, courage is not really the absence of fear. We all experience fear, and it's just, courage is that place where we go for it anyway. We live it anyway. We experience it anyway. It's like the love wins out. The opportunity, the potential, the possibility, it wins out over the fear. That's the place where courage really thrives. And so the more that you allow yourself to experience those moments of courage and those moments of breakthrough, those moments of breaking free, even if you have some fear in there, it's like those little wins. They're those stepping stones that help you in that rewiring and releasing the fear. you get more and more of that proof of, yes, I have done hard things. I can do hard things. I'm strong. I'm resilient. And you keep building on that and celebrating. And over time, that really creates momentum in an incredible direction that brings you further and further away from operating in a place of fear and living in that experience and acceptance of love that is so beautiful. And just to kind of close out, there's another quote that I wanted to share that was on my mind. I just love, and it's this one's from Carl Jung, and it is about basically the privilege of our lifetime is to become who we really are. And, each of us has our own unique purpose and our own unique experience and journey that we are going through in this life. But at the end of the day, we are love. Each of us, you are love. I am love. And this life is about experiencing incredible love. And so I just encourage you to find more and more ways to bring that in, to accept that in, and to realize that love is not attachment. Love is something much deeper, much greater. It's at a level of connectedness. It's at a level of that source energy, that beautiful divine light, and just that sense of knowing and feeling, that deep trust, that appreciation, that experience of absolute acceptance for who we are. And I just want to honor you in your journey and for all of your inner work, because if you're here and you're in this community and you're watching these videos, I know that you are drawn to inner work, and you're facing the hard things and having the incredible breakthroughs. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and here is to your next level of empowerment and breaking free. Bye for now.